Welcome, everyone, to another episode of What Exit Jersey Stories. I'm your host, Nick Franco, and with me, as always,
Pete Riario.
how are we doing, Pete? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you, too. It's on a Sunday now, huh?
Yes, it can happen.
Saturday night, all the ghouls and goblins were out
Oh, yeah.
partying in the bars.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe not at a show.
Here's the question. I believe we've brought this up before. Is what do you call last night?
Hell night.
Okay, you go with Hell Night. All
Well,
right. So
actually, listen, when I was in grammar school, it was cabbage night.
aha. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be like a predominantly Bergen County type of thing. Cabbage night. I know a lot through the state. You have Mischief Night.
It's Mischief Night, you heathens.
Truthfully, it's Bane Night. Every night is Bane Night.
Exactly, Nick Franco. You know, Bane Night is every night. And it's just glorious. It's greatly glorious.
Exactly. But some of the other names throughout our state, we got is a Mischief Night, Goosey Night. I don't know, people grabbing each other's butts. I don't understand that one. As much as Cabbage Night, I think that's when Cabbage Head from Kids in the Hall comes to visit everyone and give them presents or cigars or something.
Cabbage Head. Didn't Uncle Floyd or someone like that have a Cabbage Head doll or something?
You know what? It's quite possible.
Or was it Kids in the Hall? I don't know what that is.
Well, Kids in the Hall. Like I said, you had Cabbage Head. He was a character. But
yes.
But yeah, I think that's when
I knew I remembered it from somewhere, and you said it, and my mind was on Uncle Floyd, and I don't know why, because I think he's at the Chiller Expo this weekend, so I had my mind. Well, he is. I know he is, actually. I saw
exactly.
The guest lineup.
But you know what? Let's talk a little bit this Halloween. So some of the scary, ghouly New Jersey things that we can think of. And let's actually start with Chiller Theater. Like, Pete, what is Chiller Theater?
It's an expo that they hold. Is it still at that same hotel that you and I, when we attended Chiller Expo?
In Parsippany? I don't know if it's at the same one, but Parsippany's got a bunch of, I think, hotels, so it could be anywhere in that vicinity.
Right. But, no, I think it is still in Parsippany. I may be wrong. I'll have to look it up, though, for the expo.
No, you are
but, yeah,
correct.
it's a convention.
Hello? Pete? Uh-oh. We lost Pete.
It appears Pete has dropped out and has quit the show. So it is now What Exit Bane Stories.
There we go.
Special guest Nick Franco.
So What Exit Bane Stories, have you ever been to Chiller Theater Expo?
I think I blew it up one time.
Oh, perfect. Oh, there's Pete. He's returned from the dead.
That was weird. Okay, but no. I hit a
foolish internet.
Exactly.
Damn you, internet. But but the Chiller Theater, explain what is or was Chiller Theater?
I mean, you have vendors that are there, hawking their wares, whatever they might be, like horror, films on DVD, Blu-ray, or collectibles, memorabilia, and then you also have air quotes celebrities like Morgan Fairchild
celebrities
that are signing. Like the year I was there, Ed Asner was there in this lonely hotel room, with just a handful of people. Who else was there? Leslie Nielsen was there. The late Leslie Nielsen was there.
You see, I would definitely not put air quotes around those guys.
Ralph Macchio was there. Man, now he can probably command at least a $75 autograph. Back then it was probably like $25.
So something like that, but I'm sure his would go for a lot nowadays with Cobra Kai.
Yep.
Plus the nostalgia for Karate Kid as well. But
it's the Hilton Parsippany, Nick.
Sweet. Now here's the thing though. Pre the convention, what was Chiller Theater?
Well, did it anything to do with Zachary? Where there was Chiller Theater was on Channel 11.
Yep.
And they had that hand coming up from the ground
from the grave.
Chiller. I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath, in fact, was the first time I ever saw the movie Black Sabbath was on that.
Yeah, that was like Channel 11
Chiller Theater.
WPIX New York, and yes, that was our local horror like thing going on. Like they would show the like some of the old horror movies and that. Yeah, Zachary Lee was our local horror host. Now I'm trying to remember if he was the Chiller Theater host or if you know what? I'm not totally sure. I think it may have been. You know what? I'm gonna check really quick. Yep.
Yeah.
Included Zachary Lee. That is the one. Okay. So,
that's
but
my recollection.
But like, people know horror hosts from like, okay, famous ones: Elvira, Vampira, Svengoolie. These are some of the very well-known horror hosts. Do you know any others, Pete? Or
boy, I think you've kind of nailed them all there. That the only one.
Well, that's not them all because every like area had their own horror hosts.
Oh,
it's just those were some of the big name ones.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that kind of got a bigger audience because like I believe like Svengoolie I think is out of Chicago area, but we actually watch him now. Well, and he's technically son of Svengoolie, but he's taken on the moniker of Svengoolie. It was passed down to him. But
wasn't there a song called Elvira?
Yes, by the Oak Ridge Boys. But
are you trying to say there's no correlation between Cassandra Peterson and the Oak Ridge Boys?
I do not think there is any correlation there.
All right, count the letters in Oak Ridge Boys and then count the letters in Cassandra. They are not of this earth.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did the Oak Ridge Boys have anything to do
like
with the
coven.
movie Elvira, Mistress of the Dark? or the beer campaign?
All the money from all the proceeds from Elvira, the song went to fund that movie.
Fund that movie.
Who else was in that movie? Anybody like of note?
I don't remember. It's one of those I have to go back to. Like that. That was definitely 80s fare.
Yes, it was.
But what you call it with the horror hosts? You have the local celebrities. Like I said, the Svengoolie guy is out of Chicago, but we have the cable channel thing out this way called MeTV, of which Svengoolie on Saturday nights is a prime feature.
Right.
And then like Elvira and Vampira were a couple. Well, Vampira was like I think one of the earliest of the horror hosts, and then Elvira like kind of like took on the mantle after that. But ours was Zachary Lee, and like what were some of the horror flicks that you watched as a kid? Do you remember? Or
yeah, absolutely. I mean, Phantasm.
Oh yeah,
which was
Fear the Sphere.
That really like creeped me out when I was watching that as a kid, and I wonder, if it would be kind of cheesy today watching, because remember, like there were like these little Jawas. They look like Jawas.
Yeah, those like little misfit small people.
Yep.
Whatever they were. Yeah, like I think they were sort of like a. I think because they worked for the Tall Man. I remember that.
Right, like they brought what was it? The victims over into the other side or something.
Yeah.
From what I recall. Yeah, that Undertaker was just real spooky looking,
Yeah.
That guy.
Boy.
And I remember Reggie was the bald guy.
Yep. Yeah. He was the ice cream guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, for all you kids out there that haven't experienced Phantasm, yeah, definitely worth a watch.
I just wonder how it holds up today, Like,
that's a good question.
Like,
probably a bit, but you know what? I think there's just certain elements that just kind of live on in their own. It definitely has a huge cult following. Phantasm. Like I think there were 4 or 5.
Oh, at least that. Yeah. 4 to 5 movies, sequels made after that. Squeakles.
Yeah, yes, Alvin and the Chipmunks appeared in one of them.
Yeah, the tall. What did they even? He had a name, didn't he? The tall man or something.
Yeah, the Tall Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what was his name? Angus Grimm, I think.
Yeah,
The
Angus Grimm.
actual,
Yeah, I think he passed away. Well, not recently.
like a
Several
few
years
years ago, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, The Exorcist, right? I mean, and again,
Oh
movies
yeah,
like Black
classic.
Sabbath were really creepy, and Don't Look in the Basement, was that another one that I used to watch? Like when it came on late night on like Channel 9 at like 2 in the morning, I would tape it on my VCR. Yeah, those are all just movies that stuck out to me that really kind of
Mm,
spooked the hell out of me. How about
yeah, but
you? Any
well, they were like like I when I was a kid, I liked some of the classic ones, to sort of your universal ones, and then of course
mhm,
then the combination with Abbott and Costello, because it was
right.
like, oh my God, they're merging like the Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, like all these people together.
Yes.
That is a classic. Also shown many times on like the horror host type of thing, like a Chiller or Svengoolie. They like to show that one. But
Um
but as far as the like the more mainstream ones, I also like some of the Hammer films, like like your Christopher Lee Draculas, and
yes.
some of those, like some with Peter Cushing, like also known as Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, like those were cool movies, I remember. And then like getting older, like I think the first real like slasher one that well, okay, the first one probably I saw on like cable was, I think, Halloween.
Yes.
But
Very scary movie for its
yeah,
time.
especially, yeah, and I think that one really still holds up. Yeah, Halloween still holds up. But actually, last night I took a watch of one that actually is filmed in our home state.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
No, I'm not
Oh.
sure where that was filmed.
All right, then what did you watch that was filmed in our
The
state?
original Friday the 13th.
Ah, yes.
Yes, but filmed in Harding Township. Yeah, I always got screwed up because you had Harding Township, you had Blairstown and Hope, all kind of in this one area of Warren County. And it
Mhm.
was kind of like where the borders began and end. I just kind of screwed up. I always thought for years where this was filmed was in Blairstown, but where it was filmed was Camp Nobi Bosco, which was a Boy Scout camp in Harding Township.
Now you were there for some class trip?
No, I wasn't there for some class trip. I was a Boy Scout.
Oh.
So
Well,
I
there you go. So
actually
was
I went there. I want to say it was probably close to about 10 times to Camp
Damn.
Nobi Bosco. Different events and stuff. Like we would do winter camp there a lot, and then let's see. Yeah, there were all other things, but I never actually got to do summer camp there.
Oh, what a shame. Can you
Yeah,
still visit there?
Well, here's the thing: it's still a Boy Scout camp.
Okay.
So for the primary part of the year, it is still a Boy Scout camp. But as of a few years ago, they started doing tours
Oh, I didn't know
in
this.
regards to Friday the 13th, because primarily Friday the 13th was shot at Camp Nobi Bosco. Like all the camp scenes were shot there. Then you had scenes that were shot in Hope, such as there's a cemetery. Let me get the name real quick. I had copied it down. It was the Moravian cemetery. It's like where the girl gets dropped off. Like at the beginning, the one trucker kind of gives her a lift halfway to Camp Crystal Lake and basically drops her off by the cemetery there. Yeah, great place. And then also like the general store at the beginning is in Hope. Then Blairstown, where the guy is at the diner, the guy that owns the summer camp now, like he bought the camp and is trying to revive it.
Mm-hmm.
The Blairstown Diner is right there. You can see it on the menu. It's the Blairstown Diner. And the great thing is the trucker that also gives the girl a lift, you can see on it a phone number for a place in Stanhope, New Jersey.
Oh, God. I've been there many times, the Stanhope House, to see bands.
Yeah, so Yeah, it's pretty neat, the fact of like all these places were used for filming the movie. Now, I will say this: going back and watching it, yeah, maybe doesn't totally stand up to what we've gotten accustomed to as slasher movies.
Yeah.
But it really kind of those two, Halloween and Friday the 13th, really led into your 80s glut of the slasher genre.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because Friday the 13th was only filmed on a $550,000 budget.
Wow.
And they actually the makeup guy, the makeup and effects, it was Tom Savini. Does that name?
Yeah, I know him well from the Dawn of the Dead films.
There you go. I was gonna say he was big in the George A. Romero films. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. He also did. I didn't even realize he also did Creepshow.
Yes, I think I vaguely do remember that.
Yeah, so Savini did Creepshow
as well, right? Yep.
He also did like other films. He also did Part 4 of Friday the 13th. He did Maniac, The Burning, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Okay, I love that movie.
Yeah, although I was like, burn her like a rat, burn her like a rat.
The second one's like it's
just like very crazy. Twisted, that one.
Yes.
And a movie that you mentioned actually on I think it was the last episode, in fact, that we did. The Prowler.
Oh, yes.
Another slasher film
that was
filmed in New Jersey, down in Cape May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and actually a lot of times is kind of mistaken for another film that came out around the same time, My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed that one, too. Was that about the miner?
Yeah, I believe that was the miner dude.
Yes.
Yeah, because Prowler was the World War II dude, and but they wore sort of like similar garb.
Yeah. There were so many killers. 80s horror films. I mean, that, again, just because of the popularity of, slasher films like Friday the 13th. Yeah, I mean, like, Happy Birthday to Me. I don't know if you remember that. That was like
I remember that one.
Crazy
Prom Night.
Prom Night. Yep. Good call there. There's a gazillion more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember some of the. I said My Bloody Valentine. Yeah, geez. Yeah, there was a glut of them at one point.
Yeah, and then there were Christmas ones. Remember, it was like
I remember Jack Frost, the Christmas
Black
one.
Christmas, I think, was one.
Yeah, Black Christmas. There's been a few films named Black Christmas.
Yeah,
actually. Like, in fact, I think a couple of years ago a new one came out. But
yes, correct. That was like a remake, I think, called Black Christmas. That is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But some of the things though that did stand out to me, and like reading up on Friday the 13th, I saw that. Well, one of the things, and it was a trope used a lot of times in some of those films, was they did the Jaws route. You know what I mean by the Jaws route?
No, tell me.
Well, you don't see the killer, but you follow their vantage point for a good portion of the film.
Right.
So you don't usually see the killer themselves till near the end of the film. You don't know, who the killer is or what's going on till the end of the film. Jaws. Yeah, you did know it was a shark, but duh.
Along the same notes there that you're giving is observations. If you watch it's on Netflix now, this new show about the movies we made or something.
The movies that made us. Yeah.
The movies that made us. They added not a whole slew, but at least 5 or 6 horror films. And I watched, yes.
Ooh, I gotta check that out.
Yeah. And so I watched Halloween.
Sweet.
And Friday the 13th is on there too, actually.
Yeah. No, I can imagine, again, those were really like some of the, not to say granddaddies, but yeah, those were the ones that started it. So yeah, you can't hit the other stuff without looking at those two and sort of like what they did good, what they did bad. Halloween really, to me, didn't do anything bad. That was like just such a well executed film. From John Carpenter. Yeah, you had great characters. You had great acting. Oh, Pete, we lost your voice. Oh, nope, no sound. No sound left for Pete. Uh-oh. No, your Yeti has abandoned you. What happened? Why can't we hear you, Pete? Pete. Oh, you're on mute. Pete, I think you put yourself on mute. Okay, is there a way to unmute Pete? No, it's not the microphone, Pete. You somehow put your thing on mute.
Peter,
Bane, help us!
It appears that you. Oh, there you go. You unmuted yourself.
There we go.
How I'm having. Yeah, we're having issues tonight.
Well, it wouldn't be an episode of What Exit without some Pete technical issues.
I mean, I could totally be Pete for you. I sing in a band too. I'm just way cooler.
Oh no, yeah, we know Bane. Yeah, like,
I wonder what Bane dresses up for on Halloween. Like, you dress up as the Riddler?
Damn it!
Okay.
But going back to those films and that, Halloween, anyway, I think did everything right.
But they said in that, I think it was John Landis who directed it, right? Halloween?
No, John Carpenter.
John Carpenter. I'm sorry. God, I'm thinking
I was going to say John Landis. No, he was American Werewolf in London, and unfortunately the segment of the Twilight Zone, the movie with the tragedy. Yeah.
Yes, but John Carpenter even had that ideology of kind of don't show the actual murders. It was just kind of
right,
either off screen or the camera pans away. He wanted to leave it up to the imagination as to how this person meets their untimely end.
Yeah, it was interesting in Friday the 13th. If you watch the film, a lot of the murders, it's not like how do you want to say? Now we're used to, you see the, machete rip through their throat or whatever, you're used to seeing that now. Back then, the first murder, the girl that was hitchhiking to Camp Crystal Lake, she has her throat slit, but you see like the killer like kind of go with a knife, and then you see the after effect. Oh, her throat is slit.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, it was a little weird going back to that. It's like, oh, okay, this was before they did more of the. Okay, no, we have to see the actual carnage happening right in front of us. As it happens.
Right.
And
then Kevin Bacon, I remember.
Yes, Kevin Bacon and a very cool scene.
Yes, was it an arrow that was the murder weapon?
An arrow through the throat.
Yes.
In fact, like the first few kills are like through the throat. Slashing the throat, arrow through the throat. Yeah, like, but yeah, it's interesting. Like that one, I remember watching a special. I think it was the Eli Roth horror thing that he's had on AMC. Yeah, History of Horror.
Yep.
And I think he had on Tom Savini, and they were going over that shoot. Like, he had to think of a way to do this because the arrow comes up through the bunk, and through the back of Kevin Bacon. I was going to say Nicolas Cage for a second. Through the back of Kevin Bacon through the throat, and so it comes out the front. So yeah, like it's like it was cool, like seeing him talk about like the effects for that scene, how they had to do that one for Kevin.
Yeah.
And who Kevin Bacon turned out to be after that.
I know. Quite the storied career for that guy.
Yeah, and the actual, like, if you want to say big name in that movie was Betsy Palmer, the actual the lady that played Jason Voorhees' mom, Mrs. Voorhees, was the big name actor for that film.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was actually a star of like Broadway and film.
Oh, I didn't even know what her background was.
But apparently she needed money for a car, so she did the film.
That's why she did it?
Yeah.
I wonder, was she in Friday the 13th Part 2 also? Or did they use someone else for that?
Well, number 2 was Jason.
Oh, yes.
The actual
right, yeah, he was the
Jason coming
to
stalk the the camp people. That starts in 2. But Jason makes that awesome, like, coming out of the lake thing in the first Friday the 13th. That was an awesome scene because you think, oh, she's saved. Oh, okay, she made it. She's in a canoe on the lake there. I think that's Lake Tomahawk. But but anyway, yeah, she's there. She's waving to the the policemen that have now like pulled up, and then all of a sudden Jason jumps out of the water and pulls her into the
Yep.
lake.
I remember that scene.
So like that was a cool, and it wasn't apparently in the original like script, like the first iteration, but they thought actually I think it was Savini that came up with that. It's like, you know what, we've been talking about Jason, this kid that drowned. Let's have him come up and like pull her down. So, but yeah, like definitely, there's a couple of things that besides the Jaws angle, the follow the killer. The cinematography is really cool. Like what you see, like again, the whole angle of the point of view of the killer, and the scenery that they do there at Camp Crystal Lake, otherwise Camp Novi Bosco, and the actual score was cool. Like the actual score was cool, and it was interesting what they did. A lot of times, the score would stop, and you're waiting there. Then something happened. So yeah, it was interesting watching some of those techniques. Like at this film, done in at the camp there, where I was multiple times.
Yeah, that's interesting. The connection there that you had been there. I definitely have not been there.
Oh yeah, well,
Despite
I know. Were you in Boy Scouts or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Long
okay.
Story. Yeah. A long career in the Boy Scouts.
I'm surprised because it was part of the Bergen Council, like or the North New Jersey, like I think Bergen and Passaic councils or whatever that kind of owned Camp Novi Bosco.
Yeah, no.
Although it was out in Warren County.
Right. Yeah, no, I have no recollection of, like I said, having gone there, at least for any of the Boy Scout outings that I was on.
Yeah. But Pete, what do you have like in the realms of scary New Jersey?
Well, there is an ice cream shop that has a lot of beautiful flavors. No, kidding.
Yes,
hold on,
blueberry flavored. What is it?
Well, no. So we've in prior episodes of our Halloween, our annual Halloween episodes, we've covered all sorts of different like ghost experiences, right? Or
well, actually, with Chris and Paige from Ghosted.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, with them, we went over that, and also we went over with our friend Jerry. We went over some of the legends.
The Jersey Devil.
Yep, Jersey Devil.
So I thought for this episode, I was like, let me think outside the box here. Instead of doing, in other words, the same old, and
right,
delve into like witchcraft, in fact.
Ooh, okay.
So for a lot of people, when you think of the witch trials that took place in Salem back in the late 1600s, that's where your mind goes to.
Oh, of course, yeah. If you think about like the witch trials, you immediately think Salem.
Yes, but there were actually they found in the archives of New Jersey history and lore that papers about that there was in the Mount Holly, New Jersey area that there were women being tried for witchcraft. Do you know about this?
I read a little blurb on that. I think it was like around the 1740s or something like that.
Yeah, very close. 1730.
1730s. Yeah, there we go.
And it was a story that appeared in the Pennsylvania Gazette, which it chronicled a recent witch trial that had taken place in Mount Holly. So it explained in depth about the reasons those that were accused, they were suspected of practicing witchcraft, and then the actions that they were going to undertake to determine if they were really
right, the tests, the tests that they do to determine if are you a witch or not.
Yeah, so it seems that the animals had begun acting strangely, and so that this is a quote from the actual article. It says the accused had been charged with making their neighbor's sheep dance in an uncommon manner.
Yes.
Was it like that Wallace and
Please
Gromit,
read up on the dancing sheep of Mount Holly.
Remember that Wallace and Gromit like sheep movie? What that was?
Oh, Shaun the Sheep.
Shaun the Sheep. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what was happening. Is that they were probably having like all night raves with glow sticks and fog machines going full time, right? And oh, this is also great. So let me just repeat this. The accused had been charged with making their neighbor sheep dance in an uncommon manner and with causing hogs to speak and sing psalms. Can you
Yes,
imagine?
whenever devil worship and witchcraft is used, yeah, they're gonna sing psalms. Yes,
Yeah.
from the Bible. Yeah, let's
Like suddenly,
turn to page 214. Babe, are you ready?
Wilbur and Babe are like, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. They're like just trotting down the streets singing psalms. Oh, the singing. I'm sorry. I was doing the William Shatner, spoken word version of the psalms. I think that passage, I don't even know if it's in the psalms. Anyway, so it had long been thought that, back then that the actions of these animals, the singing, dancing animals that we saw at the jamboree, had long been considered a surefire sign of witchery. So the citizens of Mount Holly were like, we're not putting up with this. So they rounded up, those that they held responsible. Now, so it was one witch and one wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. A wizard, like what?
Yes, the Hogwarts offshoot school in Mount Holly, New Jersey.
It's a good thing that Daniel Radcliffe did not live in Mount Holly, New Jersey back then, because they would have strung him up. And so they proceeded to test their innocence, as they did in the Salem witch trial. So apparently it was a mob of 300 townsfolk that forced them to undergo trials. Now, so to validate these results, they had two members, of this mob who also underwent these tests as a sort of
right. Yeah, this is your what's the word in scientific testing. This is your control group. You're like, okay, we're gonna take two we know that are not witches and wizards.
Mhm.
They're gonna be our control.
So now this is what they did, right? So first, these accused, right, were weighed, like you get on a scale against copies of the Bible, which were placed on a gallows constructed near the courthouse, specifically for this trial.
Were pigs singing psalms from the Bible at that time?
Yes, they were up in the belfry tower, ringing the bell and singing songs to the glorious tune of the bell. But so they believe that anybody who was practicing witchcraft, they would be lighter than a weighty copy of the Bible. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Exactly. But again, we're dealing with the 1730s here, people.
Like, was this Bible like a granite cinder block or something like that? That was,
yes, Bible by Fred Flintstone.
Yeah. Like, I'd love to see imagine that this Bible in like Barnes and Noble would be, like a doorstop holding open their, giant doors or something. It's just crazy. So, so now they're saying like, so 4 people were tested, right? I guess and all 4 weighed more than the Bible.
Okay? The control group is not controlling.
Right. So I would have been like, burn them all,
It's like
not Miss Goody Whitcomb.
Yeah,
the general store. We can't put her against the fire.
But they were saved by the superhero bucket hat. Buckle hat. I'm sorry.
Yes, KFC hat.
By the way, listen to the latest
head.
stuff.
Is that his name?
Flophouse episode where Elliot comes up with this character or hat buckle. I forget what it's called.
Oh, hat buckle. Yeah. So the crowd, was still ravenous, and they didn't give up. They're like, we will proceed to a local mill pond. And that's where the real scientific testing began. So they invited Mr. Wizard down, from his TV show. Just kidding. Anyway,
Gonna need a new Timmy. Sorry.
So
that was Mr. Lizard.
So the accused were all stripped down, right? And they checked to make sure they weren't hiding any heavy objects on their bodies, just like they
Right.
do at TSA when I went to Iceland last time. They were, made sure that I wasn't carrying my kettle balls that I stole from the gym. All right. So they made sure. And then, so their hands or feet are bound with a rope and they were placed into the pond. So it was thought that anyone who was a witch would float on the surface of the water. I'm sure this is very familiar to you from your readings of the Salem witch trials, right? So an
Yes.
innocent person would sink to the bottom. Okay. So only one man in this Mount Holly group, a member of the mob, sank. Both
Yeah, so
individuals accused of witchcraft, as well as the female accuser, floated on the surface of the water.
yes.
So
So yeah, like a little question there. It's like, like are these tests any good here? Or...
yeah,
And of course, now I'm thinking of also like with the witch trials, like it's like Monty Python, the Holy Grail. It's like, okay, what else floats? It's like wood. Let's build a bridge out of her.
a balsa wood. And so this woman proclaimed that she must have been cursed by the witches.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
unfortunately, much like the Manifest cliffhanger before they announced a new season, everyone was like, well, what happened? Well, unfortunately, this article ends ambiguously without any telling of the final decisions made or the actions taken.
Yeah, did the mob just go like,
we'll call it a day.
Yeah, just call it a day. It's like, hey, we're still, our hands and feet are bound. Yeah, can you get us out of the pond, please?
Yeah, but the person who sunk, does somebody dive in and get them?
He's dead, but he's not a witch.
And do you know who that person was, by the way, who sank?
I
Sir
don't know.
David Blaine.
True witchcraft.
For my next trick, I'm going to hold on to these balloons and float up to heaven. Anyway, so there's been a lot of speculation about this article that they wonder if it was merely a joke, and they base this on the fact that Benjamin Franklin, who was a young, well-known prankster at the time, wrote the piece.
The original prankster.
Yeah. Impractical. We call it like
Impractical founding fathers.
Impractical Puritans or whatever. No, impractical colonials.
Yeah, Benji. George.
Right.
Tommy and
we decided to replace Hancock's pen with an exploding pen.
The exploding quill.
Oh my. Signing the Declaration of Independence. This is a momentous occasion. And it's like John Adams.
Damn you.
Damn you, how dare you. So anyway, they say it was a way for Franklin, who was an enlightened thinker of his day, to poke fun at folk beliefs, which still persisted. So
Well, just like actually when we went over the thing with the Jersey Devil, there's reports that it actually may have been Franklin kind of making some of these things up in his Poor Richard's Almanac.
And it was funny because they thought that he would have done it as, to have a joke at the expense of the Burlington County residents, because Philadelphians saw them as rustic rural yokels, apparently. So, I guess, you have to decide for yourself. But if you look up on the internet, you'll actually see this article from the Pennsylvania Gazette, May 9th of 1754, that contains all the details of this witch trial. And
cool.
And it's we don't know if this, the validity of this document.
Yeah, and also we don't know what happened. We don't have the final scene.
No, cliffhanger, right? Unfortunately,
it's like maybe Netflix will pick it up and tell us what happens.
Oh, that'd be great. Yes.
What happened to the Mount Holly witch trials?
Yeah, We need someone to get on that, like one of James Wan, who makes all those Conjuring movies, could maybe
Oh, there
pick
we
up the
go.
mantle there and do that. But interestingly enough, also in Mount Holly, there's this stone altar on top of a mountain, and it's it's a it has the words "Holy, Holy, Holy" inscribed on the front. And apparently, the folklore is that there was a story that the Jersey Devil was chained up inside that altar, and that if
Ooh.
you put your ear to it, you could hear his chains clanking and scratching against the stone.
And
And
then your ear becomes stuck to it,
well,
like
it's
your tongue to a frozen pole.
exactly right. If you dunked your head in cold water and then went out
Put
there
your
in the
ear
dead
to
of
the.
winter and stuck your head to it, and they also were told that this altar was the capstone for um a portal that went all the way to hell. It's
Oh, okay.
really
So.
creepy though. If you find the photo on Weird New Jersey has it, like the
Mhm.
inscription is right on it, this long altar, and it says "Holy, Holy, Holy," inscribed
Which
on
was
the
from one of the
slab.
psalms sung by pigs.
Yes, good callback there. Very, very true.
Yes, written by the pigs.
Um,
Wilbur, Arnold, and Babe you got together.
yes,
Now,
yeah,
now,
but yeah, there's a
what's that?
cemetery, old graveyard, Mount Holly Cemetery, right down the hill
Ooh.
there, and yeah, that's what that white concrete table. It's 4 feet by 8 feet by 4 feet. It almost looks like a sacrificial table of
Yeah,
some sort. So yeah, very strange,
that, that's pretty freaky.
Yeah, it's yeah. When you see the photo, you'll see it's like out in the middle of nowhere. It's just really odd looking. Um, yeah, we were gonna say something else, Nick, or
No, no, no. I was wondering if there was anything else on that one. Like,
no? There was, I didn't um write anything about this, but apparently there was a well also there, but that also had some, like haunted occurrences that people spoke of, but it's now been like sealed up.
okay,
So you can't,
wasn't
there's
like
no
Hell's
access.
Well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes. I love that AC/DC song, Hell's
Hell's
Well.
well. Yeah. Are there any cannon firing
Hell's
before that?
Well. It's bringing you water. Hell's Well.
Yeah, and how appropriate with my temperature's high. It's like, oh, it's high. All right. Hot as hell in here.
Yeah, that's funny. Though that marker though, like being a capstone to the supposedly to like an entrance to hell. Yeah, like in
Mhm.
Clifton, we spoke about before the one thing, the gates of hell. That
Yes.
those
I was reading up on
underground
that, in
things there.
fact, earlier this morning about the gates of hell, that now they had to, so the police department, what time? That's in Clifton, right?
Clifton, yeah.
Have you ever been, by the way? I've never been to
I've
that.
never been. Yeah,
And I've been,
Clifton's a weird town. I will say, because it literally is a sea. It kind of like makes like a whole. Because I've been to Clifton many times, but different parts of it. So like the part that actually has gates of hell, I've never been to.
yeah, me neither. I was gonna say the same thing, that I've passed through Clifton many times, never ventured there. But so apparently, I think there were so many people that had stumbled upon the Weird New Jersey article about the gates of hell
Right.
and were going down there, that the cops had to contact the editors of Weird New Jersey magazine and say to them, "Hey, you need to put a disclaimer on this article that if they show up there and are caught in there, you will be charged with trespassing."
Right. Yeah,
Because
it's what you call it's what you call for the, was it the reservoir, or it's like it's actually like these entrances, these large entrances, like it has something to do with like a water system or sewage or something or other. So the thing is, you can get in there, and if somehow the water goes, yeah, you could be trapped and drowned, I guess, in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to look at photos, anyone who's listening, look at photos online of it. It's very ominous looking, and there's
definitely.
graffiti, all over the walls. But it's just this long, dark tunnel, which looks spooky.
Exactly. Yeah, because
I can't even imagine going into that at night. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're like, as you said, it's so long in that and winding, and it's just completely like pitch black at that point,
Mhm.
because like, okay, yeah, at the entrance you get some light coming in, but that's it.
Yes, right. This other thing that I stumbled upon too was another new article that was fascinating actually. It's so it's called the Ghost Children of the Cave Grave, and this is in Newton, New Jersey. Have you been out
Hmm.
to Newton?
I'm only to see King's X once, but
Okay.
but nothing else.
But so it's alongside Route 621 in the town of Newton. There's
I
a
thought you were going to say Route 666.
that would be really weird, wouldn't it, if I said that? But there's a small graveyard it's nestled alongside a wooded hillside
Mhm.
near the heart of the old town. Um, and there's graves from the 19th, 20th century that are in the usual upright limestone granite
Right.
variety. But there's one memorial that's actually very striking. It's a marker, and it can be found about 50 yards into the woods beyond the
Mm.
cemetery's boundary, and it
Ooh.
seals off the entrance to a cave. So it's mounted upright against the sheer rock face of the hill.
Oh wow! So it's
And
blocking that entrance.
yes, very eerie picture when you look at it. So inscribed on the stone are the names of James, Margaret, and J. Howard Lewis, and the year 1909. So the legend has it that all three of these young children, these were young children that went into this unprotected cave and got lost and died.
Oh, that's
Um,
freaky.
yeah, and so apparently, I guess I think the sister went in, and two of the boys, they followed her into the dark cavern and never were seen again to save to save
Wow.
their sister. Um, there were all these efforts to locate the missing children. The bodies were never found, so the decision was made to mark the grave at the point where they entered by placing a marble tablet over the cave's entrance.
Right. So
So
other people wouldn't
it
suffer the
marks like
same
the
fate,
final
basically.
right resting place of
Wow.
them. And they weird New Jersey, and then again, like I said, please support them because they're
Oh yeah.
fantastic.
No, and they for many years they've been doing their
Yeah,
thing.
with the magazine and as well as like the website. Um, that they wrote about that they contacted the Sussex County Historical Society. They wanted to get like further information about the site, but all they, you know, that there's not a lot of like records or details. So it's again it's one of those things that just like Mount Holly, like is this a legend or and then you
Mhm.
kind of wonder like, well, how did that placard come to be? It's
Right. It exists.
so they did say, but here's the thing: they did tell them, the Sussex County Historical Society did say that, um, indeed, that three children are interred in that site, but no other details can be found. And they did genealogical records. They failed to produce any
Hmm.
additional information. So it just we know it seals off the entrance to a cave, and the stories are that that was their final resting place. Sadly.
Ah.
And there was one person that gave an account of a spooky encounter by that uh sealed cave
Mhm.
that they heard or they saw a girl in a dirty dress clutching at her neck as though she was choking, but again, I probably I'm gonna say that I find it a little hard to believe, and this
Well, you
person
never
maybe
know.
was had a very interesting mushroom trip while they were out there at the cemetery, maybe.
Well, that's
I don't know.
possible as well.
Yep. Um
And
yeah, and go on,
what's
Nick.
that?
What were we gonna say?
No,
No,
I
but
was going to
yeah,
say. Oh, sorry. You first.
yeah, if you get an opportunity, go on to Weird New Jersey and take a look at that Ghost Children of the Cave Grave.
Mm.
It's just a really spooky picture that shows the cave entrance sealed by this
I think you should start a
marker.
band called Ghost Children of the Cave Grave.
It would be a Black Sabbath cover band, or
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, like Children of the Grave.
oh, what a harmonious voice you have!
Yeah, sorry, my
No,
voice
no,
is
I
a little
like
shot too.
yeah, believe me, listen to me. I'm like, um, okay, so What you want to end up with a game where I know I think that would be.
Oh yeah,
unless you have anything else.
Yeah, I have a couple of things real quick.
Oh,
Like
go
yeah,
ahead.
like other things scary in New Jersey, like or and scary fun.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the month, they actually had like since 2008, Asbury Park. Did you ever see that they do a zombie walk down there on the boardwalk?
I have seen that. Yeah.
And in fact, actually, they've twice set the Guinness Book of World Records for world's largest gathering of zombies in 2010 and 2013.
Wow.
In
Didn't know
doing
that.
this zombie walk.
hmm
And but the cool thing I saw also for this year, they they had a thriller dance team of zombies
Oh.
to go through the
When was it? By the way, was this weekend?
October 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Whoops, hold on a second. I
Mhm.
hit the wrong thing there. And also they the way they did it this year was they started on the boardwalk and they had a band like leading, doing a New Orleans jazz funeral style like music, like leading the procession of zombies.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, and they always end at apparently Johnny Mac's down on the Asbury
Oh.
Park boardwalk.
It's
Oh.
called a second line, you swine.
Yeah,
Second
have you
line.
been to New
Thank you,
Orleans?
Bane. Thank you. Okay, I mean, I am not totally educated on everything there, so but I have been to New Orleans.
With love, of course. I'm so
Oh.
sorry.
Oh no problem. No, Bane, please,
I
always.
just liked how he rhymed line with swine. I mean, that was brilliant.
Oh yeah, well, you know,
know?
again, we were talking about the pigs singing psalms, so
Yes.
there
so
you
it is
go.
Another
Yes, all things
callback.
lead back to singing pigs.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you want to get into some of the true horrors of New Jersey, you know, like if you want to revisit a couple of our old episodes, listen to our episode about the Hindenburg, like a true
right.
horror story, like you know the dirigible flying over Lakewood, New Jersey, that caught flame, and basically from the moment it caught flame to the time it hit the ground, 33 seconds, just poof, up in smoke.
Yep.
And a couple of other ones. Listen to our Action Park episode
Oh yes.
if you want some true fear in there, including the wave pool, or as they dubbed it, the grave pool.
Ooh.
Well, again, that was the thing that killed the most people. The wave
Yes.
pool. It killed 3 people in that wave pool.
Incredible.
And then Great Adventure, which had its share of accidents, such as the first
Yep.
one with lightning loops,
Mhm.
and also the haunted house.
Yep.
The tragedy at the haunted house, and
I was in
how
that haunted house before the tragedy, but I mentioned that on another episode.
yeah, that
Yep.
it's freaky thinking about that. Like
Mhm.
some of these places that you've been, that's like, oh my god, these things happened.
Yep.
I keep hitting this stupid thing. 1 second. It's like bringing up another program here by accident because I have it next to my Word document. Another couple of things that are scary in New Jersey in our history, and we will go over them at some point. One is the Iceman. Do you know about the Iceman?
Was he a serial killer?
Well, he wasn't a serial killer. He was more of a killer for hire.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he was born in Jersey City, lived in Dumont, so not far from here. And what his like a couple of the reasons he was called the Iceman too. One was they said he was just like a very cold guy, very methodical. Just he must have had ice water running through his veins. The other thing was he actually froze a lot of his victims. So when they found the bodies, they couldn't determine time of death.
Huh.
And in our episode when we were talking about some of the haunted stuff in New Jersey, Clinton Road, one of the bodies that the Iceman left was found in Clinton Road along in West Milford.
Wow.
So
where's this guy now?
Oh, he's gone. He actually
died.
was sentenced to 2 life sentences.
Mm-hmm.
And he was linked to several killings, definitively.
Mm-hmm.
He claims to have been actually the person, like his total body count, over 100, close to 200 people.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, so we will discuss him at some point because he also has a special link to my town, too.
To Hackensack?
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. In fact,
I'd like
the
to
guy
hear that.
the guy that took him down, which he's still around, and I'd love to get him actually on the pod to talk
Definitely.
about. And another scary one, and I'm going to link you to another pod for this, but have you ever heard of Howard Unruh?
No.
He was kind of like the first American mass murderer.
Oh.
Or,
You're
you know,
thinking.
if you want to say spree killer. Yeah, on on my birthday in 1949, not that I was born in 1949, but on September 6th,
Mhm.
he took a 12-minute walk through his neighborhood of Camden, New Jersey. And with bullets that he actually crafted, went on a shooting spree and killed 13 people, including 3 children.
Ooh.
But here's the freaky note with Howard Unruh.
Mm-hmm.
One of the people that survived, his name was Charles Cohen. He survived, I believe his grandparents were killed, but he survived by hiding in a closet in by his grandparents' store, I believe it was. Charles Cohen then went on to, marry. He had children, and those children married and had children. Well, one of those children, so one of Charles Cohen's grandchildren, was Carly Novell, or Novell. Do you know that name?
No.
Well, she was one of the survivors on the February 14th, 2018 shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
Wow. That's interesting.
And what did she do? She hid in a closet like her grandfather.
Huh.
So, yeah, it goes
Crazy.
from Howard Unruh down to Florida. Yeah, this legacy here. So it's kind of freaky, but yeah, we'll cover him at another time. But if you really want to hear the story now, please listen to American Loser. Our friend KP Burke has a great episode on Howard Unruh, the first American mass murderer spree killer.
I'd like to hear that.
I love that podcast. That Kahuna fella is quite funny.
Oh, he's fantastic. I gotta say, he really makes the pod.
The perfect compliment.
Oh, yes.
To,
yes. Well, Pete, you have game?
I have game.
Excellent.
All right, so we're gonna go like now we've done horror movies filmed in New Jersey, but
yes,
I've got more horror movies filmed in New Jersey.
More horror movies filmed in New Jersey. Wow, I can't talk today either. Jeez.
I went and did some research and make sure I didn't repeat anything.
Okay, so
we hope.
What is the game, Pete?
Well, the game is you tell me, was it filmed in New Jersey or not?
So Jersey, not Jersey, more horror films edition.
Correct. Now, I'm going to throw a curveball with the first one. It was a television show called Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Do you remember that?
Are you talking about the Netflix one, or are you talking about the ABC version?
We're talking about the old school one.
The old school. Okay, ABC with Melissa Joan Hart.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So now, any truth that the exterior shots of the house of the Spellman residence, Sabrina Spellman, by the way, was her name.
Yes.
Were actually exterior shots from Freehold, New Jersey.
Ooh.
Of Spellman Manor at 64 East Main Street.
I'm going to
now home to an elder care facility.
I'm going to say that sounds plausible. Yes, I'm going to say that is Jersey.
Nick, you would be correct.
Excellent.
And the exteriors for the fictional Westbridge High School were shot at Dwight Morrow High School in Englewood.
Oh, wow. Okay, you're right nearby me.
Yep. Now.
Okay, what do we got next?
Let's do another Curveball, true or false? Don't worry, I'm
Ah.
getting to the other movies filmed in New
Wait,
Jersey.
we got a baseball horror movie? No.
True or false? The
Okay.
Addams Family, inspired by the cartoons of artist Chaz Adams, or otherwise known as Charles Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Adams was New Jersey born and raised in Westfield, New Jersey. True or false?
That I know he is from Westfield. I wasn't sure if he was born there, but yes, I know he is from Westfield when he was doing those cartoons.
Very good, Nick. Yes, and he was born.
Oh, excellent.
In Westfield and raised in Westfield, New Jersey. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people knew.
Sweet. There's some other freaky things about Westfield too, but we can bring them up on another episode.
Oh, definitely. Like the Westfield Mall.
Yes.
Garden State Plaza. What do they call it that? The Westfield Mall or something?
Well, I believe that's the company. Or
oh,
yeah. Sorry.
Fine. Be that way. Okay. Everyone knows The Village from M. Night Shyamalan, right?
Yes, M. Night Shyamalan with Ding Dong.
Horror classic.
Yes.
Correct. Now, true or false? Parts of The Village were shot in Pedrick Town, Salem County.
It's quite possible. Salem County is definitely more rural and could fit the bill there. So yeah, I'll go with that's Jersey as well.
Nick, you're on a roll. That is correct.
Sweet.
In fact, yes, they filmed two scenes. The first when Ivy from the film nearly gets run over by a truck, and the second when a driver pulls over at a gas station to inquire about the village.
Ah.
So, well done, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next movie. Fatal Attraction. No need to give any synopsis. Was any parts of that filmed in New Jersey?
Yes, the part with the pot filled with the bunny. No. Let's see. Fatal Attraction. That's a good question. I'm going to say not.
Nick, you would be correct. It was filmed in New York.
Aha!
I'm not going to give you any more details than that.
That's okay.
Okay. Let's do two more here.
Sweet.
Satan's Playground from 2006. It's a family on their way to a camping trip, and they get stranded in the Pine Barrens when their car breaks down. And then, one by one, the family members are all killed by the infamous Jersey Devil.
Well, being that it's based on, and again, if they're talking about the Pine Barrens, what best way to do the Pine Barrens is in the Pine Barrens. So, yeah, I'll say that's Jersey.
Excellent, Nick. Nick, you're on the roll of a lifetime. It was shot in the actual Pine Barrens region. Satan's Playground, 2006. Maybe find it on Shudder. I don't know if it's on there or not, but
it's possible.
Take a look. Okie dokie. We're gonna do. Hold on. Let's do one more.
Okay.
I wonder if we discussed this one on a prior podcast or not. Maybe not. Mother's Day. Do you remember that movie? With those.
Oh wow! Another one of those old.
It's a fun movie, though. I have to say. I know that somebody in that movie, they make them drink liquid Drano to kill them. It's just an awful thing. Was that filmed in New Jersey or not? Or a movie?
Yeah, it wasn't too complex a thing. So you know what? I'm gonna say. What's that?
I just remembered. Like, didn't they make? Wasn't there a remake of Mother's? No, I'm thinking of the romantic comedy Mother's Day 2016.
Oops, slightly different.
Yeah,
slightly different. But I'm gonna say the original one. I'm gonna say Jersey.
And you would be correct, Nick. Filmed in Blairstown.
And, Blairstown, right by the filming of Friday the 13th.
Yep. And Stillwater is the other one. Other town that it was filmed in. Yeah,
Sweet.
Two brothers kidnap and brutalize three women for the pleasure of their demented mother. That was the synopsis of Mother's Day. Crazy film too, by the way.
I'm wondering if on your list, if you had what was it, the final broadcast or the last broadcast? I think it was the final broadcast. It was
no, I don't have that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that was another Jersey one, based on Jersey Devil and the Pine Barrens. It was one of
Oh.
the early digital films.
Okay. No, like the
Yeah,
other ones I
and
haven't.
it came out around the timing of Blair Witch, but did not get the
The same kind of
no.
I know what you mean. The press and
Yes.
and box office gold.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But that was a good list, and some very cool stuff
Yeah,
that
some
you brought up
different,
today.
ones. Yep.
If you like What Exit Jersey Stories, you can contact us at what is it? whatexitpodcast@gmail.com. You
Mhm.
can find us on Twitter at exit what?
Exit
And
what?
we check out our Facebook group as well, and
Yep.
we'll post more stuff there too, because we've been very light, and sorry we've had a little bit of a break after our Todd Frazier episode.
We definitely, maybe to make up for it, Nick, we can do next Sunday again, right? Perhaps.
That is quite possible. That is
Yeah,
quite
possibly,
possible.
if we can.
But and if you would like to if you have some good Jersey stories, if you would like to be on What Exit Jersey Stories, please contact us. And hopefully we will have some other really good guests in the near future as well.
Yes, we are working on that. Yep.
So for myself, I've been Nick Franco.
And I'm Pete Riario.
Thank you, everyone, for What Exit Jersey Stories. Good night. Happy
Good night.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Enjoy it.
Bye.